Almost 1 year after last year's floods destroyed 1,000 farms and 2.5 million livestock, poultry farmer Dave Martins is still without chickens.
I want to be positive, but we are hurting and there's a lot of stress.
Martins, who lives in Abbotsford's Sumas Prairie, says there has not been enough support from the federal government's Disaster Assistance Fund.
It's frustration. The disaster financial system, we did do an interview regarding the farmhouse and we still have not heard back. Many people have not qualified. So the only way we're fixing these places up is through the kindness of others or bank loans.
The mayor of Abbotsford says some damages have been repaired, but more money is needed from the province to upgrade flood mitigation infrastructure because the city can't afford it otherwise.
We would prefer to decouple a new pump station on the Sumas River to replace the floodgates. That is an $800 million bill. And I actually, when we delivered that in June, I would have thought by now we would have had an answer.
A new federal Senate report outlines the disastrous effects of last November's flooding and the lack of immediate support from a provincial and federal level.
Our recommendation is that the federal government, which has the deepest pockets, step up to make sure that those funds are in place to get that infrastructure back up to snuff.
There's bridges that are still out. There's a repair on Cole Road where the dike basically blew out, and that's where a lot of our water came from.
The report also recommends the Canadian and U.S. governments work together to address the risk created by the Nooksack River in Washington.
The river goes where the river goes, and it doesn't care where human beings drew the line. So we need to make sure that when we work on mitigation on that river basin, that everybody who's affected is at the table.
Senator Simmons says a government response is expected next week, which Martins hopes will streamline much-needed financial aid for those still struggling to rebuild their homes and their livelihoods.
When I wake up in the middle of the night and think my hand is hanging in water and I'm on the second floor of my house, more needs to be done.
Tackling a nightmarish event with action. Janella Hamilton, CBC News, Vancouver.